If you clicked on this video, I'm willing to bet you love superhero movies just as much as we do.
These days, thanks to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, superhero movies are the largest thing since the invention of moving pictures.
It's damn near impossible to get away from the influence that the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DC Extended Universe have had, dominating the box office month after month, year after year.
True, but before Marvel changed everything, making the most expansive cinematic universe we've ever seen, there were superheroes paving the way, or more accurately, shooting webs.
Today we're going to talk about the superhero movies that have sort of paved the way for us to get to the Avengers, to the Justice League, and even the stuff like The Boys and Invincible, you know, the TV shows. Right. And we're going to see how that stuff has sort of evolved. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Nerd Cypher.
Welcome.
You know, the show where we talk about things that are nerdy, and that pertains to, what does it pertain to, Dad?
Comics, movies, television, anything that you may consider and you obsess over.
Yeah.
Basically.
Basically.
It's nerdy. So.
You know, and back with us again, we have Jason over here, you know, his brother.
Hello.
And then we got Robert over here.
What's up, y'all?
My brother-in-law, your uncle.
Exactly. And we're just going to be talking about superhero movies, past and present.
Taking it back. I mean, we always like to go back and bring it forward. You know what I'm saying? Some of the first superhero movies that we grew up watching. Okay? Let's start with the oldest member of the group right now.
Hey now.
What do you remember as far as movies? What's some of the earliest superhero movies you remember us seeing?
Fresh classic was the Christopher Reeve Superman.
Of course.
Doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, that started it all.
Yeah, if I'm thinking.
That Superman, that was the biggest.
That was the
biggest
thing.
event.
And that was major.
That was the one.
Yeah,
I mean, because everything before that was television.
Yeah, that in terms of like paving the way for people taking that stuff sort of like seriously as an actual like motion picture or whatever. That seemed like that was like the.
And what was after, like Superman 2?
Yes, Superman.
Pretty
2.
much. It was like Superman dominated the superhero
for a while.
Genre for a little while.
And then I can't even remember what came after that.
A lot of junk.
Yeah, a lot of craziness. A lot of craziness. Well, I'm gonna jump all the way. For right now, just for the sake of argument's sake, the first Spider-Man, right?
Okay.
Did you? Did y'all like the first Spider-Man? Everybody like the first Spider-Man?
Yes, I did.
I think that was my favorite Spider-Man.
Great story.
Right.
You know, of course, it was more of a love story about him and Mary Jane Watson.
Right.
Him coming into his powers and kind of finding his way through, you know, the city with all of its obstacles, and you know, his life, his personal life, his work life, his love life, his life is becoming a new superhero. So I think they did it pretty well.
How do you think he matched up against the other Spider-Man as far as like who's your favorite Spider-Man?
I mean, I like Tom Holland.
I like Tom Holland too.
Holland's-
the latest Spider-Man.
I think he fits the character.
He embodies the Spider,
Yeah.
the kid.
I think he does a good job with both.
Yeah, I think he does both. He does
Yeah.
he does it well. He's awkward in some ways, but then again, he's genius in some ways. He falls into the right spots every time in the movies. When you watch the movies, he kind of like always ends up landing on his feet.
Right.
I kind of like how they give him this character. He's like a kid. You know, he's not a grown man. He's a little kid.
Right,
You know,
he should be a kid.
And he actually seems like a kid as opposed to like.
He seems like a kid. You know,
Yeah.
he
Like
still has
Garfield.
kid friends. You know, he
Right,
still has
right,
friends and
right.
stuff like that. You know, I kind of like that because it shows him as a real person. You know, who's gonna make mistakes. You know, this kid
Yeah.
is not perfect. He's still learning his role in this world. You know, I kind of like that. This Spider-Man.
What did you think of the trilogy? The whole.
The Garfield.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
mean,
How does it work? How many Spider-Man? First of all, how many
Tobey
Spider-Men
Maguire
are
was
there?
in 2.
He was
Tobey
in 3.
Maguire-
Toby's in
Tob-
3.
Yeah, he's in
Garfield was in 1.
2.
2. Sorry,
Yep.
2. And then you have Holland's been in now. Is going to be in 3 movies.
Yeah,
So asking, that's a lot of Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Garfield.
situations.
I think he was too tall.
I also
he
think he was
took
too
away-
tall.
He was
I
too-
get
Took
that.
away from the aesthetics of the
Okay.
Spider-Man character.
I get that. No, I mean, the first one was fine. The first Amazing Spider-Man I thought was fine with Andrew Garfield. I was okay with that. But just moving away from Spider-Man a little bit, actually, one of the earliest memories I have of going to the theater to see a superhero movie, I think for me, was actually the X-Men. Yeah, the first X-Men movie.
Oh,
Listen, taking it back old school. I can remember when me and you used to sit. This was before, you know, the movies and stuff. We used to think about who could play certain characters. This is like the
yes.
early, like
Yes.
who would be Colossus, who would be a good Colossus,
Yes.
who would be a good Cyclops, who would be
Wolverine.
who would be
Good Storm.
Wolverine,
Remember we
right?
used to always talk about who would be Storm.
So it was like before they even made the movies, man. When they first came with the first one, it was like, oh, we was excited because they were finally it was finally coming to fruition.
Yeah.
And like we had said in previous episodes, we saw the technology was there. Like with Terminator 2,
Yep.
we were like, okay, they can get busy. You know, they can get busy.
Yeah, they were able to use like the technology to make Mystique transform and
Right.
and all of
Yeah.
that stuff. You know, that was pretty amazing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
No, that stuff was cool. Like, I mean, obviously my favorite out of that was Wolverine.
Wolverine's claws coming out,
Yeah.
you know, slowly.
You know, thanks
Yeah.
to like the cartoon or whatever, it was just cool seeing that in live action. Like, yo,
Oh,
this
man,
is
it was
real.
dope. It was dope.
You know, it was so cool.
You got a favorite movie? X-Men.
X-Men
Out of
movie?
the out of the series.
Out of the whole series. Oof,
Yeah, I
that's
can't even remember how many X-Men
There's
is
been
it?
a bunch.
There's
about- it's
been
about
way
5
too.
or 6.
Like, I mean, there's
Some of
like
them was
there's a
trash.
few. There's like maybe like 6 or 7 mainline, and then there's some
Yeah.
like spin-offs and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I guess you could talk about the spin-offs too, like Logan.
Yeah. Oh, I love Logan.
Oh, yeah,
Logan
Logan was
is
good.
Logan is my joint. Yeah.
Wolverine was a great character. To adapt him from the cartoons and bring him out of the comic books to cartoons to the live action.
Okay.
You know, that's pretty
Oh
amazing.
yeah, Wolverine's your dude.
Yeah, that's my guy. You know, that's the one I like the most. So him and Spider-Man, those two.
Okay.
You know, to do those two, so those two characters, you know, being live action.
Right.
I think Hugh Jackman did a great job.
Yeah.
You know, he's you know, he to me he's Wolverine. you
Right
know?
now, right, and I was gonna say he's Wolverine, hands down. But I know when I first saw him, it was like, huh? Because
tall.
Wolverine, he was too tall.
Too tall.
He wasn't
Yeah,
bulky,
yeah.
and the
He's too
Wolverine
tall.
was a short,
Wolverine is short.
bulky character.
Yes.
But he come to embody.
He
the
molded
essence
him
of-
into
Yeah,
he
he
molded
what he
molded
wanted it to
Wolverine
be.
into-
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm
so-
sure the next casting of Wolverine is going to be a
Right,
smaller,
they're gonna
you
make it
know,
truer to-
more muscular.
We talk, you know, X-Men as far as like those movies are concerned. We also have, you know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like we were talking about, sort of like in the beginning. But you also have the DC Extended Universe. You know, the films that involve Justice League, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman,
Batman, even before that.
Yeah, I mean,
the
yeah,
Batman movies. You know, that's DC.
That
you
is
know,
D- yeah,
with
the
the
Dark
how
Knight
many
trilogy.
different people played Batman?
Michael
About
Keaton,
12. Seemed like a lot.
Michael Keaton,
Val Kilmer,
Val Kilmer,
Ben Affleck,
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and
now we have
The
Robert
Bachelor.
George
Pattinson.
Clooney.
George Clooney.
Oh,
And now you have this new guy,
Robert Pattinson.
Robert
Pattinson.
Pattinson. So 6 guys.
6 guys. What's your favorite? Anybody got a favorite? Who played it the best?
I like
so far?
Christian Bale the best.
I like
I like
him
those-
except for when he talks.
I like those movies the best.
Yeah.
I think is more so that because the Dark
Right.
Knight trilogy by
Right,
Christopher
right,
Nolan
right.
is like
Right.
I mean, in terms of what he did for those movies, as far as like people, you know, like giving, you know, having comic book movies be like awarded in the way that they were, like people taking them as seriously as they were.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Tim Burton's Batman did a lot for that too, as far as like making superhero movies popular again. You know, the '89 Batman movie.
Yeah, but they were they were silly.
They were still
cheesy.
no, they were still
cheesy.
silly. I mean,
cheesy.
especially when it got to like Joel Schumacher. You know,
Yeah.
oh,
you know, Batman, Robin, Batman Forever, all that jazz.
Yeah, is that with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
What was that? Yeah,
I kind of felt like
Frost.
the villains
Yeah.
were more like the comic books though in those movies.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the Penguin was the Penguin.
Poison
Right.
Ivy.
You know, those characters were they tried.
Right.
They tried. And not to say that they passed the test, but they tried to duplicate the comic books a little bit more than just kind of like retconning it and making it a completely different thing. You know what I mean? So I think they did a pretty good job with that. I just think that the DC universe, as far as movies goes, they just haven't been able to put together a consistent viewing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not consistent. It's like
No, yeah, I mean,
you got Batman all over the place. The TV shows are all over the place. So it's like kind of like the movies don't match up.
Okay. So, well, if you're talking about DCEU and MCU, right? So say you got, in Marvel, you got Avengers, right?
Yes.
We're going to talk about the Avengers.
Yes.
DC, you got the Justice League.
Yes.
Right off the bat, who wins?
I think the Justice
Justice
League wins.
Power-wise?
The power-wise, they got way more powers.
Yeah.
And a
Oh,
lot
yeah,
of,
power-wise,
those
of
characters,
You got Wonder Woman on Superman level
yeah.
strength, and
Yeah.
you got Superman,
and then you have Martian, the Martian,
Green Lantern.
you have Green Lantern, all those powers,
That's
like
a
that
lot.
stuff.
Right.
It's a wrap.
It's
oh,
a
no,
wrap.
yeah, no. I mean, as far
that's
as
true.
like them actually fighting,
like to
in
be
and
able to
itself,
throw a car at somebody, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things,
If you could move an
universe,
Earth.
yeah,
The
you
only
could-
one that I think could run with them probably would be the Hulk and Thor. The rest would be
They're the only god.
obliterated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thor's
They're
a
the
god.
only ones that could survive.
Okay.
The other
Yeah.
ones would be
I think that's-
But
obliterated.
cinematically wise, I guess.
But no, even cinematically, because I think that's the interesting thing, sort of about like the Justice League, like Zack Snyder's Justice League specifically,
Yeah.
is that he views them as gods, and they're pretty
Exactly,
much gods in those movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, like all of like like the whole pantheon. You know, like Superman, Wonder Woman, and
Aquaman.
Aquaman. They
Right.
explore them more so as like actual like beings that people sort of like look up to, like like the Greek pantheon or something like that.
Whereas Marvel has Hawkeye.
As Marvel, as Marvel, they have regular people
Yeah.
doing stuff
That do
and that's
great. That
sort
can
of-
do real good things.
Exactly.
Scarlet,
Yeah,
not
they're-
Scarlet Witch.
Like they're smart.
Black Widow.
Yeah,
Black
they're smart,
Widow.
and yeah, sure you have Thor and Hulk and
Right.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but they're kind of just like regular people trying to be, trying to just do the
Okay.
best they can against, forces like Thanos. All right, so as far as Marvel Cinematic Universe, and DC movies, what are your least favorite movies?
Quick, real quick.
Real quick.
Just off the top of the head, what's your least favorite
Go, Jeff.
DC,
Of those
DC
movies.
and Marvel?
Marvel
Oh,
first,
DC
Marvel
and
first,
Marvel?
and DC.
Yeah, DC and Marvel. What's your first
the second
one?
Wonder Woman was horrible.
Oh yeah, that we can do a whole show on
Yeah,
that.
let's-
Script
all right.
acting, everything, it
Yeah.
was just pure trash.
That's
For that
DC.
level of investment that they put into it.
Right. Okay.
That was horrible. That was a WB movie.
Okay.
What sucked about that was that I was looking forward to that, and it's the same team that did the first one, which was good.
I don't know.
They got
I
soft.
don't understand.
It
What
makes
about-
no sense.
yeah.
I think what it seemed like was they really were trying to go for a Christopher Reeve sort of like classic, like happy
joy,
classic
joy.
sort of like thing, but it didn't. I don't know.
Nah.
Like something was lost in translation, and it was
It's a
kinda just-
different. It's a different time.
All right, Marvel.
Worst Marvel
Yes.
movie.
of like the more recent ones.
I love Marvel. I don't know. I
Yeah, I
can't-
know, right? Yeah, it's
All right, we'll
hard.
come back to you.
That's
You.
hard. I mean, the least in terms of the MCU, like Thor: The Dark World, and even that's not a bad movie. It's just okay.
Yeah.
Even though they've been bringing up a lot in Loki and in Endgame, like the story of that, which is hilarious to me.
DC.
The 2016 David Ayer Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Suicide Squad. Okay.
Suicide Squad. Yeah, the one with Will Smith. Which he was fine in it. Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie was fine in it, but
The
that
ending.
movie ended up. Yeah.
The way they wrapped it up was horrible.
Yeah.
All right, so for me, Wonder Woman, hands down, DC. That was terrible. For me, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna stray out of the MCU a little bit, but
That's
it's
fine.
Marvel character. That first Hulk movie was straight
Oh, the
trash.
Endgame one with Eric Bana?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
With the dogs.
Oh my God! They showed Nick Nolte more than they showed the
All that
Hulk.
heart beating thing stuff and all that green heartbeat. That was
Garbage.
annoying. That
Garbage.
was bad.
I know it ain't MCU, but it's a Marvel.
Yeah, no, yeah,
character.
for sure.
Yeah.
That was trash. Oh my God, I hated that movie.
Yeah,
What about you?
my worst DC movie would have to be Wonder Woman 1980.
Yeah, we all hated Wonder Woman.
It
Well,
was a waste of
I mean, no,
of
I didn't like
time.
that movie either.
What do you wish for? All of that mess. That did it in for me. I tried to watch it. I couldn't really
Yeah, it
finish the
was-
whole movie.
yeah, it
Then,
was
the worst Marvel movies I'd have to say in MCU would have to be, but see now, are you talking about MCU or are you talking about just Marvel?
I
Just
mean,
Marvel.
I
You
did
can go with
MCU, but
Marvel.
you can go with Marvel.
Yeah,
The
just go with Marvel.
Fantastic Four movies.
Oh.
Oh, you like those?
They were terrible.
They were
Oh, worse. Yes, yeah. You know what?
I
You're
forgot.
right.
I forgot about
I
those.
forgot all about
They were
that.
so bad.
You're
How
right,
can
you're
you
right.
mess up such an easy thing?
right.
I don't understand.
And it should have been crazy.
And it's all of them. And no,
All
the
of them
worst
are
one-
bad.
All of them are bad.
Every single one of them.
Like,
Silver
Michael B.
Surfer,
Jordan
the
and
Michael
all
B.
that?
Jordan
Oh,
one.
that
Why
one
they
was
made Johnny Torch
garbage.
black, I don't have
Why?
no idea. They
Oh,
did
just
not
don't-
need to.
just don't do
Don't
it.
do it.
The
Don't
production.
do it.
I heard from the production side that the behind the scenes itself was a lot of like issues
Yeah,
and stuff.
they
I
like
can
shouldn't
that.
only
even have made it.
imagine. The movie had no story. It was completely.
And the first two things looked like a cartoon character.
What does he look like?
In a sea lion suit.
He looked like a kidney stone.
Terrible.
That's what he looked like.
It was terrible.
Horrible.
It was terrible.
He looked like something that you would not even be able to. A 5-year-old couldn't even draw
Yeah,
on a
it
piece
was
of
terrible.
paper.
All right, you want to do favorites?
My favorite is Guardians of the Galaxy of the MCU movies.
Of the MCU?
Yep.
And DC.
DC?
The new, I guess, I had to pick the new, what's it called? New Zack Snyder movie.
The Snyder Cut.
Justice
Yeah,
League.
Yep.
Yes. That was good.
Yeah, Snyder Cut.
What about you?
Oh, wow, it's such a large selection, but I gotta go with. It's not in the MCU. The first Blade.
Okay.
That started.
Yeah.
That's
You're
right.
Let's
You
be
know what?
honest. Blade.
You're right.
Let's
Blade
be
is
honest.
Marvel.
You're right.
That movie was outstanding
It was
from
good.
start to
I
finish.
agree.
Man, you bring it
Well,
up stuff.
You're
wait,
right. No, you're absolutely
I take
right.
that back. Finish, special effects looked like it was
Looked
done
cheesy.
on a Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah, he's
But the
jumping,
movie
But
was
the
good.
movie overall,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
start, you know,
The
if you
whole
like
thing
the character,
jumping,
Blade #1 was
No, you're
Wesley
right.
Snipes
Phenomenal.
played Blade just as it was
mean,
supposed
it,
to
Blade-
it does
be.
not get the credit it
Don't get the
deserves.
credit.
He does not
I
get the
mean,
credit for
Howard
it.
the Duck is technically the first Marvel movie,
Yes, Howard
but
the Duck.
Blade
But that's
is the
forgettable.
Blade really is the one that started
All
of
the
this.
potential.
And he
Yeah,
don't get the
he
props
did.
for that.
He never gets the
Absolutely.
props.
Did you give your
He doesn't.
DC?
My DC, I got to go with Zack Snyder. That movie was outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me,
Justice League.
I liked it. I mean, I did like it out of all like the extended universe stuff.
Yeah.
I would have cut out an hour of it because it's still like way too long.
Yeah. Now that's the director in you.
That's the
But,
editor. in me.
editor? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Excuse me. My favorite DC. Oh man, my favorite DC would probably be either that Zack Snyder or I love Aquaman. I don't know
Aquaman's
what-
fun.
That was good.
I love
Aquaman's
Aquaman.
really fun.
Every time it comes on, no matter where it's at, I watch it. Like
Yeah,
I watch
great
it.
character.
Yeah, and I like the storyline. Great character.
They
I like
treated him as a joke for the longest time, but Jason
Yeah.
Momoa really brought something to
Yeah.
it. They did a
And
good
as
job
far
casting
as
him.
Marvel, oh, like you said, it's too many.
There's
Man.
way too many.
I would say one of the Avengers. I think no, it's not an Avenger movie. It's the Captain America.
Ooh, which one?
What's the one that
Winter
has
Soldier?
Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh wait.
fighting at the airport.
No, where they fighting at the
Oh,
airport.
Civil
Oh
War.
yeah, when they
Civil
introduced
War.
Spider-Man.
Oh,
It was great.
I love that because that had all them
Had
characters.
all,
in it.
had all the
that
people you
airport
love.
fight,
Yeah.
Introduction to
That
my
just
man.
brought me to the
Spider-Man
comic
shows
book.
up.
Exactly. That's why you liked it. The
Because,
comic
yep,
book
that
was.
was the
I used to
comic
draw
books.
that. I used
Yep.
to sketch that.
Yep.
That was
that scene,
outstanding.
that
It's a
scene
splash
brought me
page.
right to
Yes.
the comic
Straight
books,
up.
man.
The same books, man.
Yep.
Where they
Same
going at
books.
each
The way-
other.
yeah,
characters in
with
books.
Ant-Man being all big, that
big,
all brought me
yes.
to
With
the
the air,
comic
the
book.
arrow,
Yep.
him on the arrow, with Hawkeye's
Yes.
arrow,
And
and
they
they
matched
launch
up.
him.
Yeah.
That was in terms of like bringing
I
comic
love
books
that
to life.
movie.
Yeah.
To put that together, that scene was amazing.
That was dope.
That was
It's
dope.
almost comparable to the scene in the Ultron movie.
Age of Ultron when they come
When
in,
they
yeah,
jump,
they
all
inside.
fight
the-
Oh, when they're all
in
like,
that
"Rah!"
gunfight.
Yep, and the
That's
camera
like the
goes
first
around
time
them.
you saw that type
That
of
was
thing.
like, gave you
that
chills.
Oh, but I
I'm
mean,
nerding out right now.
no, in terms of, but I mean,
that
in
was
terms
like-
of
that was
moments,
dope.
I mean, we can't forget like being in the theater
And seeing that, yeah.
and well, seeing that, but Endgame. Like
Oh,
Endgame,
when they all
like
showed
just
up at the end.
Oh,
And
yeah, yep.
being there, opening day,
Yeah.
and just people were dressed
whole-
up
yeah, yeah,
and everything.
Everybody in the theater.
Everyone in the theater, and everyone's coming through the portals and
Yep.
everything.
When
and
that
it's
battle
just,
happened, man, that was like, yes, finally, the end.
and everyone just.
Oh, you talking about the
Yeah.
oh when they showed up?
When
they
Oh
brought
yeah,
them all
yeah.
back?
Yeah,
Oh,
when they brought them all back and they all
did
came
the hammer
through.
thing, Avengers assembled, and
Oh,
then the
yeah.
theater's just like, yeah!
Everybody flied through.
Captain America catches a hammer.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
Oh, man.
Did you give us your favorite?
Oh, no.
Yeah, yeah.
So, in the DC universe, my favorite movie would have to be, I don't know, kind of like Batman Returns, man.
Oh, okay.
that's a
okay.
good one.
That is a
Kind of
good
like
one.
that movie, you know.
Who was that? What person was that?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer, that
was
Danny DeVito.
Who was
who-
the
who's the,
Batman? Val
um,
Kilmer?
No, it was Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
That was
Yeah, it's
Michael
Michael
Keaton.
Keaton.
Okay.
Batman,
The second one.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that because I like the
mean,
music. Everything
right,
was
right.
kind of like connected to the movie.
I got you.
You know, it kind of brings you like back to the nostalgia of Batman. I like
Got you.
in the MCU, I liked I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I like the Deadpool movies, man.
Oh man, see y'all break. Yeah, I do love
You know,
the Deadpool.
I do love the
I watch
Deadpool
those every
movies are
time they
good.
come on. I've
Yeah,
seen them
I
like
no
at
matter
least.
where it is.
No matter where it's at in the movies, I
You know,
watch it.
Wolverine's great if you want the drama, you want the
Right.
feeling, but the Deadpool
That
movies,
first Wolverine
man.
though was kind of whack.
Come on.
The
Oh,
Wolverine.
the first one.
Oh,
yeah.
Origins, yeah, that was
Origins
tough.
was
But
whack.
the Deadpool movies,
They
man.
cursing. It was like
Oh, yeah.
You know, it threw you off for a minute.
Breaking
till you
the
had
fourth
to.
wall.
Yeah.
It's
it
kind of
threw
like
off.
him his
It's dope, though.
his
Reynolds.
interaction with the
Yeah.
old lady, the old
Great,
lady,
yeah.
the
Yeah,
old
yeah,
blind
Leslie
lady,
Uggam.
Leslie, you know.
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
hilarious,
Yeah, that's
man.
good stuff.
That movie just was
Oh yeah,
one of
no,
my favorites.
That is
Absolutely. All right. Future
superhero movie.
future superhero, like things, coming out. And this doesn't even have to be just like DC Marvel. Just because, right now, we have a lot of just great superhero stuff going on right now.
right.
Like, we have stuff like the
Independent stuff?
Yeah. Like like the stuff
Boys.
from, like The Boys. That's on Amazon.
Amazon.
Invincible, that's on Amazon. Like, I
Right.
love those things.
Right.
But in terms of just like future superhero stuff, what are you guys looking forward to?
Right. Wait. What characters do you guys think need a movie
Okay.
that they didn't come out with yet?
I'm ready for a full reboot of Fantastic Four.
I mean, it's coming.
I mean, I need it
It's coming.
after the garbage that they threw at us for these years.
Yeah, they need
Yeah.
to redo it.
I mean, it's
A legit one.
It's coming. It's confirmed. It's coming. The dude that's been directing the recent Spider-Man movies, he's directing it. It's going to be connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That's got to be good. They
Yeah.
can't
What
do that.
I'm looking forward to, and I don't know if necessarily needs right now needs his own movie, but to come out and should have came out because he's one of the oldest characters. Is Namor, Submariner.
Yes.
Reading it's
long.
way
Without
past
a
due.
doubt, man. He should have been there.
He should have been there. Because the thing is, for people that don't know, though, they'll be thinking that they biting off of Aquaman.
Aquaman.
And
You
no,
know,
he was
meanwhile,
first.
he's been around since
Namor's
forever.
first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
Namor's first.
supposedly, rumor has it, he's going to be in Black
And-
Panther.
well, that would be
Yeah.
perfect because he ties in the
He
comics
really does,
with
yeah.
Black. They
Yeah,
went at it.
They're both kings, yeah.
They
What's
went at it
what's
a
cool
lot.
about Namor is he's an antagonistic sort of like
He's
thing.
an
Right.
anti-hero
Yeah. Good
sometimes.
guy, bad
sometimes
guy
he's a
type
bad
of
guy,
dude.
good guy sometimes.
Yep.
It depends on what he feels like doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to? Anything in particular other than that?
Nothing,
Who hasn't
nothing
come
grabs
out?
me.
I mean,
Blade, the new Blade.
The Blade.
Well,
Oh, because
I'm a big Blade fan, so
Yeah,
clearly.
Mahershala Ali, gonna be
He's
him.
playing Blade.
you think they're ever going to redo Conan the Barbarian?
I don't think so.
I don't know. They tried it with Jason Momoa.
They did try.
Oh,
it
they
with him.
did?
Yeah, they did.
It didn't
Oh
work out.
Yeah.
man, I missed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried to go into the backstory of where it came from.
It didn't
stuff
work
like
out.
that.
Yeah, they did.
They'd
try.
have to-
Nothing can beat Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's not even about Arnold. They'd have to darken it up. Like,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if you go by the comics or the books,
Yeah.
he's a
Like,
He's a
real-
bloody,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
a bloody
he's a dark
bastard. He
character.
just was a killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, they'll get to it eventually. One of those things.
Anything
I mean,
you looking forward to?
No, well, in the whole big picture things, I'm looking forward to seeing the X-Men come into the MCU.
Into the MCU.
Word.
Oh,
Yep.
seeing how the MCU does them.
Yeah,
And how
I'm
they interact with
I
them,
want to
yeah,
see who
absolutely.
they cast as these characters. I'm
Yep.
interested to see who they cast as, Wolverine, who they cast as Storm. And I want them to really make them what they were in the books, not these soft, whiny mutants. You know what I mean? These mutants are powerful. Cyclops, leader.
right?
They treat him like
they use
he's.
Cyclops so wrong. in the
Every movie
movies.
they put him
Yeah.
downplay him,
They really do.
He's a very powerful mutant, I think that Storm also, they downplay her powers.
Yeah.
I mean, she is she leads
She's
the
an
X-Men.
Omega level
Right.
mutant.
She's a leader,
Right.
so
And she's-
I
yeah.
just think that they focused a lot more
I
on
think because
Xavier
of-
and his powers in the movies. I want to see
Right.
those
More of
guys.
the other-
I think because
Colossus
of-
and those type of mutants, come in there.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think what the MCU I think is doing a great job of right now is bringing in other sort of like people that aren't just sort of like the white superheroes that we've seen. We're seeing a lot more people, people of color, black
Without a doubt,
superheroes,
without
like
a doubt.
female superhero movies. We're
Yep.
pushing more to the forefront.
Well.
We have stuff like Miss Marvel coming out,
Yeah,
like
Kamala,
a Pakistani
yep.
superhero movie,
Yeah, yeah.
superhero show. They're gonna have the Marvels.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi,
Shang-Chi,
yeah,
right.
exactly. They're gonna have a mostly Asian cast with that
Right.
movie. That movie they recently released a trailer when we filmed this. That looks really cool.
I mean, just
Well-
think about how we felt when Black Panther came out.
Speaking of, Black Panther,
Mm-hmm.
which actually I should have added as one of my favorite Marvel.
That is one of my favorites.
Yeah, no, that's
movies.
one of that's
yeah,
like top
definitely.
five
Yeah, that
for
should
me,
be
maybe.
that should be in the top two.
I definitely,
for
I
me.
definitely cried at the end of that movie.
Yeah, that movie was
that movie
historic.
had me emotional.
Yeah, definitely.
Saw that
But
4 times in the theaters.
what do you think in terms of with the passing of Chadwick Boseman? How should they move forward with the story arc, or what do you think they're gonna do?
Wow, that's a big.
know.
That's
hard.
I mean, they definitely have got me thrown a loop with that
Yeah,
one.
because in the
crazy,
comics, what
yeah.
his sister Shuri, she
His
becomes
sisters
Black
become
Panther.
Black Panther.
But there's been also other Black Panthers too,
There have,
besides
yeah.
besides the main character.
You're gonna think they're gonna bring what's his cousin?
bring Michael B. Jordan back.
Yeah, Michael
Jordan,
Jordan. What's character's name?
Killmonger.
Killmonger.
They might.
They could.
Using
Michael
the
B. Jordan's a big
using
star.
the heart-shaped herb.
Well, I heard
Bring
that
him
they
back from the
cast,
dead.
they recast a lot of the characters in other roles in upcoming movies.
It's
So
just
So they
it's
may
the
not-
I think
situation
that
with
the
him
multiverse
specifically.
thing-
But multiverse
they can do it.
Multiverse of Madness is going to
Yeah.
be coming out from Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
That could
I
totally
think
be
they
a way
can-
of bringing them back.
They can
Oh, I
bring in
didn't
these guys.
think.
Doctor
Yeah.
Strange. That was
So
a-
maybe in another
Anything
universe,
with the green joint,
Yeah.
the green thing. They could,
yeah.
between
he could have been Black Panther in
Yeah.
another universe, and Chadwick Boseman wasn't.
Absolutely.
You know what
And
I mean?
between WandaVision that just came out, Loki that's doing
Yep.
it right now with
Loki's
the variants.
in the multiverse. He's all over the place.
right, the TVA.
Spider-Man that's going to have all the
It gets
original.
confusing with all these universes.
Yeah.
sometimes,
Yeah, I never liked
I
that.
love
Yeah,
multiverse
DC did it
stuff.
too.
though. Yeah,
Oh, and
because
also we
the
didn't talk
Bizarro
about-
that's a way
world.
for them to be able to do anything. Is
Yeah, and
basically what it
DC,
is.
yeah, DC tries to do with that Flashpoint show.
Yeah, that's the thing.
gosh,
yeah, they're going to
it's
be
confusing.
Because speaking of future properties, there's going to be a Flash movie that's
Yeah.
going to bring in old school Michael Keaton Batman.
Yes, yeah.
And they're going to be doing multiverse stuff with that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and they're going to be bringing in a Supergirl.
Yeah.
Well-
and probably trying to do a whole multiverse thing there. But with Doctor Strange, the multiverse of madness, that's a way that they could bring in stuff that wasn't in the universe. Shoot, that's probably how they're probably going to bring in Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds.
That's how they're going to bring it.
Yeah.
I think that's how a lot of these guys are going to get brought into the MCU somehow.
I just hope they do it right.
One good thing also
Yeah.
sort of about these movies and like the Disney Plus shows and all this other stuff is getting different voices to actually be behind the scenes of a lot of these properties.
Of course.
We had a black showrunner that was on Falcon and Winter Soldier. You have a lot of Muslim people behind like the Miss Marvel show, and you have like other Asians behind Shang-Chi and stuff like that.
Exactly.
You have more women being sort of like brought into the forefront, and I think that's an important thing to sort of like bring across with a lot of these like platforms right now, or a lot of these like superhero movies right now that you didn't have back in the day.
Right. Well, that's another thing. They say, I heard people talking about Marvel fatigue as far as with the MCU. Do you think that's a thing, or do you think they do it so good that it's not even a thing? I don't think it's a thing.
I think about this all the
personally.
time, and I think because of stuff like WandaVision sort of like breaking the mold and sort of how they show the show.
How they do things
like
different.
Falcon talking about race. Loki doing what they're doing. Bringing in the multiverse of madness stuff. Superhero as a genre isn't really like a genre because you can bring in other elements in it. You can bring in horror elements, comedic elements.
Yeah, like that movie, the new
Avengers.
Exactly.
The
Yeah,
New
exactly.
Mutants,
That
I'm
was
sorry.
New Mutants. That was a
It's
horror
supposed to be
movie.
like a
That
horror
movie's a
movie.
horror
So I
flick.
think what it is that it's more because what the thing is with these superhero movies, they're characters. That's end of the day, movies are going to be made because characters are going to be always
They're
at
all
the forefront.
character-driven,
So
yeah.
what you have to do is just bring them. You have to bring different elements into it, whether that's behind the scenes and the scripting and all of that. And that's how you make it fresh.
Yeah, you have to be able to identify with the characters you're seeing on the screen. I mean, especially for young people.
Right.
I mean, if every character looks the same, or if they all, if you can't identify with them, you don't feel like, it's something that, oh man, I'd love to be that guy. Or when you were a kid, you think about, you jump around the room or whatever, you're trying to be that character. That kind of like having the Black Panther, having a Storm, having a Spectrum, that's in WandaVision. Having those characters, I think, gives black girls, black boys a chance to understand that, I could do this too. I could be that
Exactly.
Marvel
character.
does a great job with character development.
Marvel does a great job with that.
Character development, and each individual, everybody has their own personality and stuff.
Exactly. I think that's the way. That's how you have to handle that. That focus on the characters, focus on different sort of like genres, and that's how you sort of avoid that. You bring something new.
Yeah, because when we were kids, you go to the store to get a costume, and it was those, you go Woolworths or whatever, and they got the costumes in there.
Nerds.
Little things you can
It's
breathe on.
only things you could be was certain characters. There was all these
The
characters.
same
there was
one,
all
with no
white
black
There wasn't
characters,
no black characters available.
so-
So now I think it's great that the kids actually have these characters to be able to play also.
So I think I think that's sort of like the future, and I think the future's pretty bright for a lot of that stuff, right? You would agree?
I would agree. I would agree.
So, thank you guys for listening to all this stuff. If you like this video, give it a like. Comment on some of your favorite superhero movies, and
Let
properties
us know
and
what
stuff
you guys
like
think
that.
about the subjects we discussed. I'd like to hear it.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell to get notified when we put out new videos. And I would like to thank Uncle Jason,
Cocoa
Uncle
Butter.
Bob,
Floppy disk.
for joining us, on this great discussion. And we'll catch you guys later.
I used to be computer chip, okay? That's what I used to be computer chip.
And he's always been Cocoa Butter.
He's always been Cocoa Butter.
Big sexy.
All right, have a good one, y'all.
Later. Peace.